Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show.
Life pro tip: the next time you catch yourself judging someone for their clothing, hobbies, or interests, ask yourself, what does it matter to me? The more you train yourself to not care about the personal preferences of other people, the more relaxed you become. Bonus, you become a nicer person. My mother was really judgmental of other women growing up, and she still is, so I was also raised to be judgmental. I realized once I hit my early teen years that it was so wrong. I sometimes catch myself now silently judging other women and people on their appearance, but I have to stop and tell myself to knock it off because it's not right. I wish I had known from a young age that other people's appearance has nothing to do with me, so I have no right to think so negatively about them. I read once somewhere that a nice way to think is to think that your first thought is what you were conditioned to think, and your second thought is your own. So when I catch myself thinking something judgmental of others, I always correct myself and remind myself that just because I've been trained to think a certain way, that does not reflect who I am as a person if I make an effort to confront that negative thought. So helpful when you're quitting an addiction too. It's okay to crave drugs, ice cream, or whatever. That first thought is out of your hands. It's what you do with it that defines you. As someone struggling with a fentanyl and crack addiction, thank you for this, I needed to hear it. I've always toughed that I am introvert and quiet. I've just lived with it and toughed, well I just am like this, liked it or not. It was sad that it was really hard to open conversation or just keep on in them. Then at some point I managed to get myself a thinking style which I ask myself, am I doing this because someone said to do this? Am I doing this because it's easy and comfortable, or do I do this because it's done like this? Or do I do that thing because it's right thing to do, or does it makes me happier? It's easy to become person which other people want, but it's way harder to become person you want to be. Even small things improve you. Even small things improve you. It is especially the small things that improve you. The brain improves in increments and small iterations. We are born babbling morons, and over a number of years, we slowly grow into native speakers or even great writers and orators. Not by a great leap, but by repeated failure, repetition, improvement. For someone to consider a writer's magnum opus as success, it would have to be true that everything that was not as good as that was a failure. If Hamlet is Shakespeare's best play, are all the others failures? Of course not, and in much the same way, doing something, no matter how poorly, isn't failure. It is merely one link in the chain. To do by choice is already a success. No matter how poorly you think you do when you talk to someone, there is someone else out there who can't even bring themselves to step outside their front door. Starting and doing is all that matters. Not how well or poorly you do it. Starting is the victory. Starting is the success. Continuing is the success. Everything else is just improvement. When I started uni, there was an 80s rock guy. This was 2000, so not cool or current, and I thought he was a bit of a loser. Big hair, leather jacket with tassels, tight jeans, bandana, the whole lot. Later on we had some friends in common and he turned out to be a nice enough guy, just really into 80s stadium rock. Not my thing, but whatever, though it was a bit embarrassing when he'd start headbanging because he heard some Guns N' Roses in a cafe or something. 15 years later I see him driving a jacked up pickup truck, with flames on the side, blasting Van Halen, still 80s rock to the core with a bandana, leather jacket with no shirt, high tops, and skinny jeans. All I could think was how awesome it must be to be so passionate about something that you straight up don't care what other people think. He's living his best life and I'm a little bit jealous of that. I should mention we're in a northern English town, not America, so this is a lot less common. Hell, he just waited out the cycle until these things were cool again. Bonus: if you can ask yourself why you're judging someone, it may help get to the root. We all like to make connections and associations, but if you drill down to the why, you can really start to address the implicit biases. Yeah, I often struggle to not judge people for what they enjoy for entertainment, and I watch Marvel movies, talking about being pretentious and hypocritical. There's this one dude I know that enjoys only the worst of entertainment, and I always thought it's cool that he so openly does not give a shit about other people's taste, and doesn't care that his taste is bad. I am finally breaking free from my former self. Watch and let watch. He cured me. Then he hit me with, every Netflix original so far was amazing, but Santa Clarita Diet is utter shit. Who watches such garbage? And I am back to square one. I prefer, who does it hurt? Plenty of things may not matter to me, initially, but may be an actual problem for someone else. If there is no victim in what you're doing, I shouldn't care. Yes, this works if you're asking yourself, in your own head. Self-reflection, assessment, logic. What I've found is that you can't ask this question to someone who is verbally/publicly judging someone else. Instead of analyzing their own perspective trying to determine if and how it hurts someone, 9 out of 10 times they'll vigorously defend their position and attack a straw man. This is the much better version. In this type of position right now and not by choice either. What do I do? Stay silent and smile and wave. One party is always going to be pissed off no matter what, and possibly disgruntled in their responses because they will feel they are being judged by everyone, directly impacting me and other people who have nothing to do with the matter at hand. The other is not happy until they fully destroyed the other person by judging the other for their hobbies and beliefs, and I am forced to pick sides, otherwise they're not happy and will take legal action. I don't see any of these people on a daily basis and don't even talk to them, so it shouldn't even be a problem. It was created by one person wanting to attack another person, yet my actions are required by something because it's written on a piece of paper making something a law. At least one person in this force three-way, excluding myself, is breaking this law and is wrong no matter what because of this piece of paper. So my choice has always been, if it doesn't hurt anyone and people are happy, then everyone wins. But right now I'm being forced into two choices I do not want to make. So do I then stay silent? I could, I guess, but then either horror awaits me on the other end no matter what. Legal action or possible disgruntled behavior towards an entire neighboring community. Damn shitty entitled neighbors. Leave me out if you're petty squabbles. Guess I could always call the co. Yeah, maybe not. Completely correct. I only judge by desire to learn and be better. No matter how old or young somebody is, if they don't want to learn or improve, I don't want to have that in my life. Obviously in normal conditions. Not like hating people who, by circumstances out of their personal control, cannot possibly learn or improve. I used to be this way, and what I will tell you is you never know who is doing their very best just to hold on. Just to wake up in the morning, brush their teeth, get out of bed, find a reason to keep living. It's a little presumptuous to assume everyone can find the time to improve when so many find it difficult simply to maintain. When I was frustrated with my lack of progress on a project, one of my mentors told me, sometimes it's enough, just to maintain. I have to remind myself a lot of that these days. Agreed. I think if you're focusing on whether people are learning or bettering themselves, you will probably overlook any reason they might not be doing that. A college friend once texted a group chat asking someone to come over and help them move on super short notice. It was a little annoying, and I remember thinking, why couldn't they have asked yesterday when I saw them, but I wasn't doing anything, so I headed over to help. It turns out, they'd gotten into an argument with their roommate the week before, who jumped over a table and physically attacked them, and they'd left their dorm right then and been couch surfing for a week. They not only needed help moving, but they needed someone with them just to have the courage to walk back into the apartment. And when we got to their room, they were so anxious because the roommate was there that they could barely pay attention to packing. I ended up packing their entire room, box by box, while they struggled to not have a panic attack. It took so much courage just for them to ask for help, and the cost for me to stay non-judgmental and help them was very little. It matters to a lot of people because on other people for their choice of brand or pastime gives them a temporary boost in self-esteem. It triggers the same response in the brain as winning a fight. They temporarily feel they stepped up in the pecking order by showing their superiority by making a better choice. They'll try to convince themselves that they're objectively right, of course, but it's literally a dog pissing on a tree where they smell another dog to show they are a position higher. All of my friends growing up would shit on everything I was excited about or interested about, always left social events feeling 100 times worse than before I went. I still find it hard to talk about my interests, and people think I don't have any and that I'm boring. Now I'm not even really sure what I'm interested in. Now I try not to judge anybody else's interests and try and get them to talk about themselves, but on the rare occasions I do open up, I get shut down and angry that other people can't do me the same courtesy. Judging people doesn't have to have a negative impact on you. I'm a super relaxed person, but if I see someone in public who looks like an idiot, I'll think to myself, wow, that person looks stupid, and then just move on with my day. Is it even possible to not judge people/actions/things? It is inherent to how we think, make decisions, and form opinions. The only thing you can really choose to do is not act on it or dwell on it, like you said. I feel like people saying, I don't judge, translates to, I don't act on my judgments wantonly and remain open to a change in that unsurfaced judgment, but that doesn't really flow.
If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.